Hi friends, I welcome you to the another class of advertising management. Today we are going to discuss one of the we can say the best approach to measure the advertising effectiveness. This is known as Dagmar approach. इसे कई नामों से भी जाना जाता है Dagmar method या Dagmar approach. Whatever the name you will give it, under it the content is same. So today we will discuss it what basically Dagmar is all about. So now we will move to the next slide. Dagmar approach, Dagmar model जिसे हम और भी नाम से जानते हैं. Dagmar model for arousing consumer interest was developed by Russell Colley in his study entitled Defining Advertising Goals for Measured Advertising Results. अगर आप इस Dagmar का फुल फॉर्म देखेंगे, ये मॉडल बड़ा इंटरेस्ट है जो कि रसन कॉली ने प्रेजेंट किया है, जिनका एक काम है रसन कॉली का. इन दिस मॉडल एक सिंपल सा फंडा है. एडवर्टाइजिंग गोल्स को आपको डिफाइन करना है. यू शुड नो व्हाट यू वांट टू अचीव, व्हाट आर योर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, व्हाट आर योर प्लान्स. इफ यू आर वेल नोन अबाउट ऑल दोज थिंग्स, then you will be able to make your advertisement more effective and to check its effectiveness, whether your advertisement is working for you or not, to check the response. Then simply it will help you to measure that. Before measuring, you should be know your advertising goals. I think एक normal life के लिए भी अगर आप we want to achieve something, we have to formulate a goal. If you want to become a successful person in our life, it's very important that we should know what we want to be. Then accordingly, once you know the goal, then to achieve those goals, you will start planning. You will find out that path along which you will go and will come to a point which may be your goal. So the same thing, Russell Colley is defining that you should be well aware about the goals of your advertisement in order to measure the results of advertising. So the full form is define the advertising goals and then measure advertising results. So the study basically starts from a point where a consumer or a prospectus is not aware about the existence of the product. यहाँ पे कस्टमर का जो स्टडी के हिसाब से कह रहे हैं कि कस्टमर जहां से उसे कुछ पता ही नहीं है किसी प्रोडक्ट के बारे में, वो जानता ही नहीं कि मार्केट में कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट आया है, तो आपको उस पॉइंट से शुरू करना है. Where from he does not know even the existence of the product. So total non-awareness stage से, unawareness से, till he becomes the aware, then he becomes the aware and finally purchase a product. So there are various stages under the Dagmar approach through which a customer goes, but the stage starts from unawareness, when he is not aware about that product or a service. So let's move to that next point. Let's see what's. So Dagmar was an advertising model. It was proposed by Russell H. Colley. Already we discussed it, 1961. According to Dagmar, each purchase prospect goes 3-4 steps. हर एक कंज्यूमर जो है वो 4 स्टेजेस से जाता है during while purchasing a product. The first step, he becomes aware about a product. We give him the awareness through the advertisement, through the different marketing communication channels. Comprehension, we will discuss it later on. Then conviction and the action. So these are the 4 stages of Dagmar approach. These steps are also known as ACCA advertising formula. एक नाम इसको और भी दिया जाता है ACCA advertising formula. Yeah, ACCA Dagmar is descendant of AIDA advertising formula and considered to be more popular and comprehensive than AIDA. एक हमारे पास AIDA भी मॉडल है. कहते हैं कि डैगमर अप्रोच जो है कि एकदम से हम कह सकते हैं उसके आसपास या उसी के हिसाब से एक मॉडल है विच इज सिमिलर इन द अप्रोच. So here basically we are checking the advertising effectiveness while we try to mapping the mind of the consumer. So what are the different stages through which the consumer goes while we check that, and that automatically gives us the result of advertising effectiveness. So people whom the advertising message is addressed to and the objectives goals of advertising message. So we just try to align them on the same page so that we will be able to check our advertising effectiveness. Let us discuss these steps one by one. This is basically a communication process. Already we discussed it. Unaware, consumer is totally unaware about the product or service. Then he becomes aware. We do the communication in the form of advertisement, other different marketing tools we use, integrated marketing communication, we know all about that. Then he becomes the aware. Once he becomes the aware about a product or a service, then a comprehension and the image of that product and service. He tried to collect more information, he tried to think over again and again about a particular product or a service. Then there is the attitude formation, whether it will go to the positive way or a negative way. And then after the formation of that attitude, he comes and take the action that he finally purchase that product. So let's see how it basically works. So awareness is the first stage. Before the purchase behavior is expected from target audience, it's necessary to make the audience aware with the product or a company. बेसिकली जब एक कंज्यूमर होता है, जब या टारगेट ऑडियंस में जो भी लोग कंज्यूमर ही होते हैं, ऑलमोस्ट सारे लोग, जब उनका परचेज का बिहेवियर आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो उनसे, पर ये बहुत जरूरी है कि उन्हें आपके प्रोडक्ट या कंपनी के बारे में फुल अवेयरनेस हो. They should know who you are. So the first stage is awareness. It's very important that the consumers should know you. They have already a lot of information about your product, about your service. That's why जो भी branded companies होती हैं, उनकी हमेशा ही कोशिश रहती है कि वो कंटिन्यू बेसिस पे एडवर्टीजमेंट करें, एडवर्टीजमेंट को चेंज करे, उसमें जो स्पॉन्सर्स है, उसमें जो सेलिब्रिटीज का यूज होता है या डिफरेंट मोड्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है, उसको डेली बेस पे तो नहीं कह सकते, लेकिन वी कैन से विद टाइम वो अपडेट होते रहते हैं. बिकॉज अवेयरनेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, communication is very important so that your image becomes clear in front of the consumer. Then the second stage comes, that's the comprehension. Now awareness is not sufficient to stimulate a purchase. You have to give a sufficient knowledge and the information about product or the organization. So the second step starts from giving more and more information, giving more and more knowledge to the consumer. That's why we know that whenever a consumer is ready to purchase a particular product, and through the advertisement you make them aware. But what's more important, that you really have to give them the sufficient information and knowledge. They definitely will try to find out the alternatives, what are the substitutes, what are the different, because suppose you want to buy a mobile phone, so you have a different products of different various companies, mi, oppo, samsung. Now once you decide, the consumer become aware about the product, then you finally try to find more and more information, knowledge. Then on that basis he definitely will try to go to this another stage, that is the attitude formation. So we'll discuss it in the next. Now the third step is the attitude or the conviction. Now here the consumer is now showing his attitude towards the product. He may be interested now, then the preference will come. He will definitely look what was more important, that suppose the consumer want to buy a mobile phone. He is not a user of a smartphone. He basically is using the keypad, we can say, a simple phone. Now you want to uh, make him interested, to create that interest so that he may purchase a product, smartphone. Now this is the interest that you have created him. A lot of companies doing the advertisement of the smartphones, that how it's important for you, what are the different things that you can do easily while using a smartphone. Today we are having social media, today we are having the different applications and the apps through which you can do a lot of work. So you create that interest to a person who was totally unaware about the smartphone. Now he is going to be prefer which one he want to purchase. Now at that time, this is the conviction that you should be able to communicate that we are the best, we are the superior than the others. So that's why it's important that the attitude formation will come when he will finally purchase your product. So a lot of advertisements initially, they create a mass interest in terms of a product, but then they have to differentiate themselves with the competitors. So that's the attitude or the conviction where you have to work a lot. The final last stage is the action. Finally, the communication should be in such a way that that may encourage the buyer to engage that purchase, to get engaged in that purchase activity. So finally he purchases the product. So with this, in this Dagmar approach, there were mainly four steps. The first one was the awareness, comprehension, attitude, and the action. So in nutshell, I will come and repeat them. Awareness was, once you inform the customer about your product, you create the awareness by doing a lot of advertisement either on the print media or on the electronic or social media. Then comprehension, then he finally tries to get involved and collect more information, knowledge about the products, and then he, the attitude and the conviction, then finally he, the interest is being created and he give the preference to the different products of different companies, and finally he do the action and purchase that product. So with this we completed today this Dagmar approach. Hope you may get connected in the next lecture, which will be uploaded shortly. Thank you, and please give your feedback in the comments, and whatever the improvements you want, what are the different topics you want to uh, uh, go through. So give me those all the details in the comments and give your feedback. Thank you. Bye bye.